The 2016 Audi R8 V10 Plus Beastie toys by Wheelsandmore. The R8 V10 Plus is the closest Audi has come to officially entering the supercar market. Depending on who you ask, the car is or isn't a supercar. I'm on the side who considers it a supercar, and judging by its first crack at the R8 V10 Plus, I think Wheelsandmore shares that sentiment. The German tuner prepared this tuning kit for Audi's latest performance crown jewel with one objective in mind. It wanted to leave every shred of doubt behind as far as what the R8 V10 Plus is capable of. If it's power and performance that people want, it's power and performance they will get. By itself, the R8 V10 Plus already packs a wallop. It's got a massive 5.2-liter V10 engine that spits out 610 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque. I don't think anybody would be complaining about what it's capable of. It's just that a tuner like Wheelsandmore is rarely satisfied with standard production numbers. In fact, no tuner in its right mind is ever satisfied. So Wheelsandmore did what tuners usually do. It created an engine program that takes the R8 V10 Plus standard output and punts it in the name of more power. This is what you get with this program, which the tuner has dubbed Beastie Toys. Cute pun notwithstanding, this is the kind of engine modification that owners of the R8 V10 Plus can really enjoy. They bought a car that may or may not be a supercar in the eyes of some, but with Wheelsandmore's help those doubts immediately become irrelevant. Continue after the jump to read the full review. Exterior. Wheelsandmore has never been the type to tinker with a car's aerodynamics, but it does have this ability of dressing up its cars with subtle upgrades that actually gives the car a sportier appearance. Take a look at what it did to the R8 V10 Plus, particularly how the tuner managed to leverage the body colors of the supercar with the black and orange body stripe that runs the length of the body and the 20 and 21-inch ultra-concave FIWE alloy wheels that has the orange border, orange wheel cap, and orange brakes. From a distance, the colors play well together, and when you look at it closer, it becomes all the more pleasing to the eyes. Oh, and speaking of those fancy new wheels, Wheelsandmore had them wrapped in Continental Sport Contact 5P tires measuring 225 30/20ths and 325 25/21, respectively. Interior. Wheelsandmore didn't even bother to touch the R8 V10 Plus interior, knowing full well that the main focus of this particular program was to give the Audi supercar the kind of upgrades that can turn it into a bona fide threat to the Ferraris, McLarens, and Lamborghinis of the world. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, especially when the resulting upgrades to the V10 engine are, shall I say, mind-blowing. Drivetrain. The subtlety of the visual tweaks on the Audi R8 V10 Plus is a nice touch, but the main event of the Beastie Toys program involves the supercar's mid-mounted 5.2-liter V10 engine. On its own, the V10 is already capable of producing 610 horses and 413 pound-feet of twist. But it's already been established that Wheelsandmore doesn't do standard, so it went about and prepared a 3-stage engine kit that includes adding a supercharger kit, forged connecting rods, high-performance pistons, and a modified flywheel to go with a full-scale remapping of the engine's control unit. The results are what you'd expect from a tuner the caliber of Wheelsandmore. The R8 V10 Plus with the Stage 3 kit can hit 62 miles per hour in the mid-2-second range to go with a top speed of about 220 miles per hour. The Stage 1 kit, for instance, helps add 35 horsepower and 18 pound-feet of torque, bringing the total up to 645 horsepower and 431 pound-feet of torque. Then there's the Stage 2 kit, which tacks on 165 horsepower and 103 pound-feet of torque on the R8 V10 Plus standard output, raising the output up to 775 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. Finally, there's the Stage 3 kit, and it is a doozy. The result of this extreme makeover is 837 horsepower and 528 pound-feet of torque on tap and ready to be unleashed. The tuner didn't say how these upgrades affect the performance numbers of the R8 V10 Plus, but if the standard model is capable of sprinting from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 3.2 seconds and hit a top speed of 205 miles per hour, it's easy to imagine that an R8 V10 Plus with the Stage 3 kit can hit 62 miles per hour in the mid 2-second range to go with a top speed of about 220 miles per hour. In other words, that's just filthy. With these upgrades, Wheelsandmore also added a handcrafted exhaust with a valve flap system and a Drexler locking differential to make the R8 V10 Plus a little more manageable to drive. Suspension. Speaking of making the car a little easier to drive, Wheelsandmore installed an adjustable full racing coilover suspension with hydraulic lift-up function at the front axle. Pricing. No pricing figure was given for the Beastie Toys program, so at this point, the best way to get a price quote is to contact the car directly. Remember, Wheelsandmore is based in Germany, so anybody who avails of the tuning kit will likely have to send their cars to Germany before they can get it back. That's going to be an added cost that should be taken into consideration before agreeing to have the kit installed into the car. Competition. Ferrari 488 GTB, VOS 9X by VOS Performance. The Audi R8 V10 Plus may not be quite up to the standards of a car like the Ferrari 488 GTB, but with the Beastie Toys program, none of those supposed qualifiers matter. Fortunately, the 488 GTB was also the subject of a recent tuning program from VOS Performance. First up is the carbon fiber Aero Kit, which includes a new front wing, side sills, mirror caps, and a mono-block carbon fiber rear wing. A new set of 21-inch forged alloy wheels from Spanish wheels company Loma is also part of the program. Those wheels are shod in Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires measuring 225/35 in the front and 325/25 in the rear, respectively. In standard form, the 488 GTB has the legs over the R8 V10 Plus, thanks in large part to the 670 horsepower coming out of the Ferrari's 3.9-liter bi-turbo V8 engine. But it also wouldn't be a fair fight if the 488 GTB had to compete with a Wheelsandmore tuned R8 V10 Plus. That's where VOS Performance's own 3-stage engine upgrade comes into the picture. All the engine kits are made up of a modified air induction system, an EQ remap, and an exclusive new exhaust system that can be ordered with either downpipes or a sports catalyst. Altogether, VOS was able to increase the output to 750 horsepower and 810 pound-feet of torque for the Stage 1 kit, 830 horsepower and 860 pound-feet of torque for the Stage 2 kit, and 900 ponies and 910 pound-feet of twist. Now this is the kind of supercar throwdown I'd pay to watch. An 837 horsepower R8 V10 Plus and a 900 horsepower 488 GTB? Sign me up. Read our full review here. Lamborghini Huracan LP 850-4 Lucifero by Wheelsandmore. Notice the similarities here? It's uncanny, isn't it? Well, that's because this program for the Lamborghini Huracan was also made by Wheelsandmore. It's got a similar color, similar two-tone racing stripes, and similar wheels. The only difference is that one is the Lamborghini Huracan and the other one is the Audi R8 V10 Plus. It's worth noting that both the Huracan and the R8 V10 Plus utilize the same 5.2-liter V10 engine, so the engine upgrades are also uniquely similar. This kit also comes in 3 stages, with the first stage getting 640 horsepower, thanks in large part to a carbon frame air filter and a handmade, stainless steel exhaust system. The second stage kit adds more power to the tune of 777 ponies, courtesy of a compressor kit with a reinforced clutch and a differential lock. Finally, the third stage kit adds an EQ remap to the equation, bringing the output up to 850 horsepower. Neither the Huracan nor the R8 V10 Plus are as powerful as the 900 ponies VOS Performance was able to unlock from the 488 GTB, but you have to believe that with 850 horses on tap for both the Huracan and the R8 V10 Plus, it would still make for an incredible race among the 3 supercars. Read our full review here. Conclusion. Wheelsandmore is one of those tuners that know what their customers want. Sure, there may be some who appreciate Aero Kits and interior refinements, but for the most part, tuning programs are all about engine upgrades, and that's exactly what Wheelsandmore is unabashedly offering.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.